Welcome to this brief guide to learning how to learn in the age of AI. This is presented by my friends at mandarin.io. For most people, the idea of learning outside school in non-structured environments can often appear to be like a border guard in North Korea. The essence of this course is to kind of quickly walk you through how to overcome this mental construct, because it is not a matter of hard work or struggling. Before I continue, I'll tell you a little bit about myself so that you know why I am qualified to make this video for you. I do have one of those things called an LLB, Legum Baccalaureus, which is a Bachelor of Law, and I also have a second one called an actual Bachelor of Law, and I am currently doing a PhD in Commercial Law at the University of Cape Town. On the other hand, I am also a tech product manager, a software engineer taught by YouTube, and I'm a tech CEO. So, in switching from law to tech, I did go through a lot of frustrating times and experiences. I spent a lot of time in the valley of despair, feeling like I had reached the end of my ropes. I couldn't learn, I couldn't do anything more. However, at the point where I was about to give up, I came across the lessons I'm about to teach you in this video. Let's go into what the typical learning stages are. First, you get to that point where you are motivated. You're fired up, you're committed to learn and grow, improve your life in a certain way. It's go time. You're pumped up. That morning you go for a run. And then you start learning. You meet reality head on. This is where you come across those feelings of doubt. Oh my God, what is this? I'm frustrated. Am I dumb? Am I stupid? And you just want to tear your head out. I've been there. If you pass that stage, congratulations. This is the point where you realize that you're not dumb. You simply don't know what you don't know. And that's okay. This is the simple, most important step that is relevant for determining whether you will achieve what you set out to achieve at the time when you were motivated, or whether you're going to fail at this stage of reality check. When you come into awareness, you have an option of saying, well, I just don't know this thing. I'll give up. Bye-bye. Or you say, I just don't know what I don't know, and I don't have a system for learning that suits me. And if you get to this point, you surrender to the process. This is the only advantage you have over any other person in this world. You simply understand that learning is a process. If you surrender to the process with humility, you will win. You will learn that thing. Anything in this world can be learned by anybody. And you meet the new you. And to show you how you can now apply this in practical steps, I want to introduce you to a method taught by a friend of mine, Tim Ferriss. It's called the DIS method: deconstruction, selection, sequencing, and stakes. But before you go into this method, you need to set clear and realistic learning objective. In that case, for instance, I want to learn about robotics. It's too wide. But if you say, I want to learn about robotics in healthcare, now that's clear, realistic, and specific. And now you say, I want to learn about robotics in healthcare. You deconstruct it. What is robotics in healthcare? You understand, you try and build a mind map of every aspect of the current state of knowledge in robotics in healthcare. That is what you do in deconstruction level. You try and understand what is the state of knowledge. It's not about learning here. Just try and absorb what exactly is the best person in this field. What does he know? What does he know? If I had the best, the brightest mind in this field here now, what is the peak of his knowledge? What is the scope of his knowledge? You just need to understand it. You don't need to understand the knowledge itself. You just need to understand the scope of the knowledge. After that, you select what are the critical aspects of that knowledge graph that person has. You first understand it, and then you select. These are the key and important ones that once I learn them, I have mastered 80% of the field. And here the Pareto principle applies. 20% of your effort to give you 80% of your results. It is a law of physics. You don't even bother about fighting it. So you need to select the 20% that will give you the 80% knowledge or abilities in that field. And then after you select that 20% of the key knowledge, then you need to organize them in the correct sequence that you need to apply them and learn them. And after that, you have selected the sequencing of this information, the way it's going to get into your brain, like you're building a house from the foundation to the top. After you get that, you need one more thing. It's called stakes. You need to make it painful for you not to stick to the process. You either have to tell everybody you know that you are going to learn this thing. You're going to hang yourself on the tree, let everybody see you. Or you give somebody money and say, if I don't learn this thing, spend the money, do anything you want with it. Commit to something very, very painful that if you don't complete it, it's going to be very painful for you. That is a very important part, because if you do not have a motivation, something driving you to complete it, you are going to fail. Commitment is not enough. So you need something very painful. The way I did it myself was that I looked for my friends who were in business and I said, do you have an idea you want to build? Let me build it for you. And I don't like embarrassing myself. So I didn't want my friends to say, this guy, he likes to talk and he can't do it. And my reputation mattered more to me than the pain of staying awake 12 hours feeling dumb. And that was, I pushed and pushed and pushed. And one of those projects got me my first job in tech that paid me a whole lot of money. Just because I stuck to it, I didn't want to get embarrassed. And I'm going to close this video by showing you how my progress started. I created this GitHub account in 2014. As you can see, I made only one commit in July 2014. In 2015, I made 0 commit at all. 2016, 0 commit. 2017, 0 commit. 2018, 0 commit. 2019, at this point, I started working on a couple of projects. I started making scattered commits. 2020, you can see my commit started going up. 2021, you can see it grows. 2022, you can see it improves. 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. And you can see how the progress has gone over the last few years. And this is one of the things that make the world of tech so dynamic, because we track and we monitor everything. So in conclusion, I would say to you, you can go further. You can do anything you want to do, but you just have to put your mind to it and commit to the process, commit to the system, and have, most importantly, the humility to stay consistent, to know that your mind can be a blank slate. If you have the right mindset and you do the right preparation and you follow the process, you will get your goals. Thank you.